Hey guys, so you guys all downloaded the GitHub repo, right? You will have to npm install because of gitignore, .gitignore. I also believe, do you have to do the connects in it as well? You will also have to create DB in my connects file. It's the database is actor movie.
Connects in it.
No?
You have a connects file.
Awesome.
This is where that breakout is occurring.
Yes! Yes, it is. Welcome, kids.
ERD2 practice?
ERD2 practice. Yep.
Create TV, actor, movie.
Right like this.
Oh, I got you.
It might be easier if you guys sit over on this side because I don't have this screen. So it's a little easier. But yes. Let me Slack out to your guys' channel my GitHub repo. You're G70, right?
That's correct.
That's what I'm saying.
I've been on since day one.
Really? You're hassling what they're doing?
Okay. So I posted it on your repo or on your repo channel. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. What you're going to want to do is clone that repo. You're going to have to do npm install. I should write this down. Damn. Not prepared. Spent a lot of time trying to.
No, you put it in ours too.
I guess I could just
You just write on the wall too. Oh, your space there.
I'm just gonna go and challenge these super notes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Are
Marcus.
you sure?
Here. This side. Allow it to be up. Alright. So you're gonna wanna, get the repos because what? Git clone? Git clone that shit?
Go get that shit.
Huh?
Say go get that shit.
Get in.
After that, in that file, in that folder, you're gonna do npm install. Alright, that's so that you can download all the dependencies, because that's really important. There's another really important one. Yes.
Next in it. Create DB.
Connects in it? Do we need to do that?
No, it's in there. Create DB.
Create DB. You're gonna want to do this. Create DB, all one word, and then it's gonna be actor, terrible writing, and then camel case movie. That way you install the dependencies, you create the database locally, and then what you want to do after that is you're gonna run your migrations. So it connects. Not that. Migrate. I'm pretty sure you can just do latest.
Go on latest.
I always do rollback first just because I never know if it's going to destroy everything.
That's a good idea.
And then you're going to do the same thing, migrate latest. And then crun. Sorry, G70 kids can't see that. But I'm left-handed. Yes. So get all that stuff. Let me know when you guys are all caught up with that and have everything. Do you have to?
You have to install Postgres.
So that's is that globally you have to install that?
Yeah.
Is that npm install pg-g?
Did you install Postgres or any Node?
I have done Node.
Yeah, okay, so what they said.
It works, right? I mean, it's all right. To check to make sure that everything is all on your system, please do like PSQL in your, like here. You do PSQ, nope, that's the wrong one, over here. PSQL, actor movie, right, and then / /DT, and then you can, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do like the select all, or you could do table people with the colon, don't forget the colon, and you'll see all that good stuff. Boop, boop, beep, boop, beep. You woot.
Yeah, I think that's where.
Just bracket. Wait.
Never installed.
Okay. I'm just waiting a sec, guys. I'm sorry. Just want to make sure. Are you able to create a database?
I'm still like finishing the last few minutes.
Oh, okay. 13.
The migrate.
You have to. You need a database.
Okay, I just,
Why are you
the last
trying
thing
to
I
do
did was
that?
do the migrate.
Okay.
I've been just trying to type in create DB, actor movie, and see if that.
Oh, count case. Sorry.
Yeah, I just.
You're good.
Accidentally. Yeah.
Try doing it now. Create DB after movie. Sorry.
Alright, what is there?
I forget like how to get the create DB. Do you guys remember?
Create DB.
Yeah. What command is that?
Command, but I think they might need SQL. Yeah. Because there's a Postgres.
I had to do that on my computer too. If you do it with brew, if you do brew install Postgres, POSTGRES.
That's right.
Forgot to
Was.
It's been such a long time, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. I know. It just works. That's all I care about. I do want to start moving forward because we are on a time crunch, right? So, I'm very apologetic to G70 kids.
There, I dropped that.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, so I just want to show you like what we got going on right on the main page. That's a thesaurus. So this is actually my last one. I want to go into ERD2, and then I'll run NodeMon in here. Okay, run a NodeMon.
Keyblade.
Keyblade. Yes, it's working. Localhost. All right, well, cool. So this is our main screen, right? This whole form down here doesn't work, so don't mind that. But what I want to do is be able to post above that the movies that we have in our database. So the first thing we're going to do is we already did the connect, migrate, latest, and seed run. Our database is already pulled up locally. It's already set in stone. So let's start writing queries about it. Okay. So back here, I got my in my queries.js under my database. We're going to write a function. We're going to call this function get movies. Okay. Inside here is where we're going to return. You need the return statement if you're going to the database. Otherwise, it's like blah, 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 gives you like some bullshit. So we're gonna do database. We're gonna inside database. We're gonna reference our movies, right? So that's our movies name. It's whatever we listed here. Create table movies. Okay. So we got movies. We're going to select all. Right. Now, I just want to see, yes.
Doesn't it select all? Just by adding DB movies?
Maybe. Let's check it out. Down here, it's very important. We got the module.exports. It is plural, guys. It is plural. And then I'm just going to do an object so that way when we add more, we can just comma and put it below. And we're going to put get movies in here. Just like that. Same name as up here. Okay, great. So we got all that done. Now if you go into your routes folder, right, which is api.js. Oh, no. Wait, no. This is fine. This post down here is for the input field, so don't mind that. This is what we want. We're rendering the index, right? We are already pulling from queries, okay? And that's important. So what you want to do first is before you res.render, you want to pull that query so that you have that data readily available for you. The way we do that is we do queries. We reference our const above, queries, dot, and then the name of the function that we exported, get movies. Just like that. Then below it, we're going to do a dot then, which is just saying like whatever is returned, whatever data is returned from that function, I want it then, I'm going to reference it as data, and I'm going to run the following function. Fat arrow for ES6. Another way to do it is like function data poop, like that. That's another way to do it. And then in here, you do your res.render. Okay.
For fat arrow, I have to put parentheses around data?
No.
Not if there's just one.
Correct. So in here, right, after we do index, we're going to say we're going to render to the page the data, right? The first line here is how we're going to be referencing it on our handlebars page. The part after that is what data you're going to be referencing, which is data. So we could even like specify this and be like movie data, right? If you go back to your handlebars, which is index.hbs under your views file folder, we're going to be using handlebars at this time, okay? We're going to do an each statement. So you have to create a for loop in order to, this is a for loop within handlebars. And what this is saying is like for each movie data that is sent back for each one, we're going to run the following code for that. And right now, I want to put like maybe like an H3 tag, right? And I just want to see if we're getting, I just want to get the title back, okay? I didn't do one of my steps that I do like to do, and I'll show you what that is right now, is before I render this, I want to make sure I'm even getting the right kind of data back to the page. So what I like to do is I do a res.send, and then I send data into that. Res.send is like another way to send stuff to the page that, like when we were first learning about it, we were sending string to the page like Kingdom Hearts, and it would show Kingdom Hearts on the page. It also takes in like numbers and is another way to send status. Like if you send status 500, this is another way to do it, but they don't recommend you do it this way. They want you to do it send status way. Side note, not important. This is how I like to make sure that my shit is coming to the screen. So we save that, right? And if we load this, we should get an array of objects, okay? And they're all the movies that we have. We got the title, we got the director ID, and we have the ID for each movie, right? You guys all follow me up to this point?
Probably queries. Shouldn't it be query? Or is it queries?
Whatever it's called in here.
Oh, it's queries. Never mind. Okay.
It is queries. Get movies. Did you save your the queries page?
This is correct. No, you've got
Well, I can't spell function. Oh, shit. Is that something?
That's interesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
not
still,
movies, that's returned from all those. That was really interesting. There we go.
So we should be getting the object of all the shit, right?
Right. You get an array of objects.
Array of stuff. Yes.
Yes. You're doing good.
Did you get
You are.
backed up, man?
Do res.send. Now it's important you can't have two responses.
I can't have a res.render and a res.send, so I need to block out that res.render.
Correct. Otherwise, because it'll give you an error saying you can't set the header twice after it's sent.
Yeah, that's why I should've talked to you.
Okay. To check to make sure that this worked, you just go back and refresh the main page, your local 3000 host. Is everybody up to speed on this?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit to install to get to that point. You just go. Forgot about that.
That one. I would comment out that, so this would be good. Like the exports. Like we're gonna do.
Okay. What am I going to do next? Great question. All right, so I think it's great that we're sending this stuff to the page, right? This is the information I want. I'm just going to comment out the, oh, why are you doing that? I'm going to comment out the res.send, uncomment the res.render, and then if you reload it, nothing's going to happen. Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't save that. Wait for NodeMon. NodeMon's like, maybe, yeah. Then you load and you get this. The only reason that it's posting the title here is because in my handlebars, I put for each movie data, put the title. Okay, but that's not enough. We want to see the director, right? So what we do next at this point, if you're up to this point right now, we want to see the director of the page. In order to do that, we're going to have to manipulate the query that we made before to get the movie data. If you go back to your queries, which is over here for me, at the end of this, we're going to do, I like to do select. That was cool, Landon. I didn't know that, that if you didn't do that, it would still like select everything. For my practice, I'm going to do it with select. Dot select, I'm going to select all, and then we're going to do a where. That's important because you got to tell it like, no. Yes? No. Sorry. I'm pretty sure you can just do the join. Join is like short for inner join. And we're going to inner join on, what's our other place? People? Yep. We're going to join, inner join on people, purple, where movies dot director ID, director underscore ID, right? Is that how we reference it in movies? Director underscore? Good. Director ID is equal to people.id. Okay. I want to make sure that this works. I'm going to do the same trick we did before. Go back to our API.js, our route, and I'm going to uncomment the data, and I'm going to comment out the res render. This is just like what I like to do. I saw Michelle yesterday. She was just console logging it. That's another way to do it, but this I like seeing it on the shit. That's right. No. If you refresh the page, you should get something like this. So now we inner joined on our people table where the director ID is equal to people ID, people.id. Yes. No. Where you at?
Yeah, when I do
You don't have to bring more behind you need. Just do that.
What you got?
That's just all up to you.
Looks good. Let me see your query.
So this is, I never got to list the movies here.
Okay.
Go back to your.
Go to you're rendering the data. So it's probably got to do with your index page.
Oh,
Did you
oh,
modify that?
sending
I did.
it.
Yeah, it was already from the seats.
Well, that makes everything simpler.
And it's real for some people like
So under movies, what you're gonna want to do is I'll pull it up on the screen on index. For handlebars, it's important to do the loop, which is within each statement. That's how you loop through. For each index in movie data, I want to display the title.
So just right here?
Yep. Hash each.
Seems like a good practice though.
I have that.
So that gets me the director ID.
Yep. Let me just make sure. So you see like what I got? Yep, I got the director ID. Yep, because I'm selecting everything. The only thing that doesn't come up, well, director ID is people ID. So,
Called director ID in the join table.
yeah, guess so. Yeah. All right. How are you guys doing?
I just totally missed that part where you.
No, you're good. You're good. In your cup too.
Yes.
You good? Everybody good? Good.
A couple.
Yes. Great. Okay, guys. So we're sending this information to the front end, right? But I want to display the director underneath where the title is. To do that, you just go back to your each statement, and under title, we'll give it like an H5 tag, right? And we'll say director, and then whatever is how it's referenced here is how you're going to, what you're going to put in the squiggly brackets.
Whatever is referenced, what would you say that one time?
So to display the director title, right? Whatever inside the squiggly brackets here for the handlebars, you're going to put the name or whatever is referencing this this bit of data that you want to send or that you want to render to the page. So you're going to put this name down, right? Just like that. So for each one, we're going to go through, and it's going to list the title and the director for each instance.
Why isn't director in squiggly brackets too?
Director, that's just, I don't need this here. This is just giving us like a statement. It's like saying before the dynamic element name happens, I want to state that the name I'm posting is the director. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can do that.
Without it, it's just going to say Peter Jackson, Zach Braff, and James something. So director, colon, it's nice. That way you get to see it. Director, director, director. Okay, so we got this part down, all right? But I want to be able to post the actors also as well in that movie as well, right? Everything okay? You sure?
So good.
Right on, man. I'm happy to hear that. I know. Okay.
Thank you.
So, in order to do that, we're going to make another. See, we had an ER. Do you guys remember the ERD that we did the other day? This is really important too. So, the other day we had an ERD that was like we had the people table, right? We had the movie table, and then we had the people movie table, right?
Yeah.
Now, we had one connection here, and then we had another connection here, right? The many-to-many connection, right? You want to write a query for each connection you have. That is, if it's a many-to-many, it's going to be one query, right? So you have a one-to-many here, you're going to write a query for that. And then for a many-to-many, you're going to write one query.
As long as it's stated one.
Right. So you know that there's like a many-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. Those are all like the queries. That's just one query for each one. I will show you how to do the many-to-many join right now. Okay. This is where that join table comes in. Yay! Great. Snack treat, guys, if you want to go grab some.
Is it Michelle's thing at 2:30?
Yes. Her thing starts in 2 minutes.
Is this gonna like overlap that?
Yeah. Yeah, this will definitely overlap that. But I think she's going to be doing basically the same thing I'm doing in here.
I like how you're doing handlebars with your, like, just the whole thing.
Is it making sense?
Yeah, it
The
is.
way you teach is fucking awesome.
I hope so. I'm glad you say that.
Oh no, I don't
Are
know.
you learning?
You're learning, class in 2.
Did you go back into handlebars?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'll all within the each
Title,
statement.
direct.
Right. That's where the director like little bit is coming from. That's just a string.
Oh, wait,
Or not a
it's
string.
And then the name.
It's just text. What's up? In my query?
Yeah. You join people, and then you can movies dot director ID before people ID.
You can do people ID first.
So you have a preference or is there an easy way to remember that?
How I remember it, I don't think there is a preference for that, but I've seen it documented on their website that to do the previous data table first. So so when you say like select this data table or this table, right? And I want to join with this table, you're going to list the first table first and then the second table. That's how I've seen it done. You don't need to do it that way though. You can do it people ID first and then movies.director ID. Movies.director_ID. But that's not necessary. But I saw it, I think it's good practice to do it this way just because that's how they do it on their documentation. What's up?
Just trying to clarify that movies select. That's basically saying like everything after that is going to be acting on the movies table, right? Is that what's going on?
The dot select?
Yeah, like that first part, dot select and left of that.
So what's interesting about dot select is is that it will pull only the columns that you state inside select from both tables, no matter if it's dot join is after or before it. So for instance, in the people table, right, we have ID, name, and role. In movies, we only have title, director, and people. So we don't have role in this one, but we do have title, and this one doesn't have title. So just to show you like what that would look like, we would just put like title here, and that's like from movies, and then we could do role here.
Kind of why I was asking because you didn't pass anything to it, so I'm wondering, is select necessary in that statement?
Probably not.
Couldn't it be DB movies join whatever? But
No man. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. But as you can see, you're right. I probably don't need the dot select there. But anything before or after that dot select is what's going to be displayed on the screen. So whatever you put in that dot select. So like you can see here, you can see director and title. Role is a thing that's only in people, right? It's not in movies. So just something cool to look at. A little cool tidbit of information. That's the information we're sending to the front end. Great shit, love it. Let's get our next function going, our next query. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to be able to see all the actors for that movie, right? In order to do that, we're going to have to do the join to, or the many-to-many query. So to do that, we're going to do a function. We're going to call a function, and I'm going to name it like get all actor data. It's a little long, but we can change it later, or we can change the way we reference it later. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do return from DB, right? I guess we can keep the same thing as above. We can do movies first, right? We'll select all, and we will join. This is where we're going to join with our many-to-many table. So as you can see, if we go from our movies, I mean, it's kind of bad. It's kind of terrible, but the first join we're going to do from the movie to the person movie table, to the join table.
Just to stop you real quick, is there any particular reason why you're going just starting that way, or is it
Oh no, I could totally have started the people to people table, people to people movie table. It's all up to you.
okay?
The main point here is just to get the information from both tables to display, to bring to the front end. So what we're going to do next is we're going to reference the people movie. How did I name that? Go back here, you could see people movies. Good. So people movies, where, what is it? Director ID? Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, and this is important too, because like connects will give us an error saying like, oh, director underscore ID is ambiguous, you know. So to fix that, all you have to do is just put the name of the table before it. People movies dot director ID, right, is equal to from the
looking at a table or a query you haven't called it, or something like that, when it screams back at you.
say it one more time. That prevents it, yeah.
So, like, say you were to reference the people, you know, director ID, but director ID doesn't exist in movies. So when you get that error back from Connects when it starts screaming at you, is that why you're referencing?
Oh, you know what? I'm so silly. The reason, so you're asking me that the reason I did this little bit here is so that connects won't yell at me later. Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. And they tend to do that more with many-to-many join queries. So kind of best practice to do is kind of like what we did up here. With movie, you state the name of the table and then the part of the table that you want to see. So over here, actually, what we want to do is we want to join where the movie ID is, right? We want to interjoin on that.
Not director underscore ID.
No, not director. Because if you go to your people table, let's go to the seeds. I'd rather see the seeds. The only thing that's in seeds, there isn't director, but there is movie ID. So we want to, from our movies, we want to connect it to the next, to movies underscore ID. I'm not explaining this right.
So you're trying to make it relational then?
Yes.
Because like both data point, like it's like you're inserting into them each independently, but now you're trying to get them to where they're actually connecting to each other, to where it's like these two are actually related to each other.
Yes.
Inserted into the join table.
The only relationship that they do have between people, movies, and the movies table is the movie ID, right? Which you can see right here. It's the only thing that they really have in common. There's no director ID or anything. Okay? So back in our queries, it's actually going to be movie underscore ID, right? And then we're going to do just movies ID. Okay? I want to make sure that this information is also sent correctly to the front end. So, in order to do that, we have to module exports, get all actor data, so that we can reference that function. And then over here, we don't need that. We don't need that. Over here, we're going to run another query. So you can run queries inside of queries, and that's how you get many-to-many. No, you can run queries inside of queries. Don't listen to the many-to-many part. You can run queries inside of queries. So in here, we're going to say queries dot get all actor data function dot then. We're going to reference that as all data, or yeah, we'll say all data.
That's what you're passing through instead of data. You're calling it out all data.
So what all data is whatever I get returned from this query.
Right. On your next step, then on that line. So when you were doing queries get movies, you were just calling whatever was returned data. Now we're doing get all active data, whatever you get back from that. You're now naming all data.
Right.
Okay.
Just specifically this query.
Just out of curiosity,
What's good?
Would you like set up a const variable above the get all actor data queries, so that way it's like saying like const get movies data equals, and then it's like referencing the data that's being passed in through prior to that.
Oh, that's one way to do it. If
Okay.
you do const get movies equals, right? That's the one you're talking about. Const get movies.
Right in like
Equals
after line
queries.
8, right after line 8, so we
This one.
put on line 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then line 9 would fall down to line 10. But in between there, would you just say like const get movie data?
Right here?
Yeah. Michelle
Mm.
did that. Yeah.
She did a thing yesterday where she put here like const data equals data
Object.
like that.
Did you export get all actor data?
I did.
Right there.
I don't want to figure it out, man. I just didn't know.
No. That is one way to do it. It's not necessary though for at least this instance.
Okay.
Whatever, and I will show you when we get to that part. I will show you. You can still access this data when you render.
I'll say.
So inside here we got all data, and I want to res.send that. I want to make sure that that's what we're getting to the page. Res.send data, send all data. We go back here. Oh, something happened. Queries get all actor data is not a function. Get all actor data. Get all actor data. I also had gotten this issue before. That's really interesting. Okay, so
Do you have to continue with the same like syntax? Because above you've got the actual reason function, and then on your next up, then on line 10, you've got that arrow.
I don't know if that.
matter.
We'll find out. I don't think it does. Just like that. NodeMon Keyblade. Okay. Where's that send data? Should work.
API, JS. So you got queries, then function all data, res, send all data. Thank you.
Interesting. So I'm gonna do like something like this. I'm gonna do a const test because this has happened to me before. Remove this dot then. It's weird that it's doing that now. Console no. Test. Did I not save it? Ah, I didn't save it. Never mind. Okay. There we go. Come on. Cool. So you can see here, this is our first join from our movies table to our people movies table. Okay? Inside here, we got director ID, people ID, and movie ID. Right? What we want to do is we want to get the name of the people ID. Right? To do that, we have to do another join on that last join. Okay? Sorry. Question?
No, so I got 1, 4, and 6. My data, I don't have like 1, 2, 3, 4, but I have 1, 4, and 6.
What are you doing for your queries here?
Let me go back and see. I just thought it was interesting that it's like skipping. Some
Can you stay here?
Sure.
On this room? Look at an arrow. I got crazy this.
What's your error?
queries on that
Queries is not a function. So, are you exporting it all after? Oh, you're not running a, you need parentheses after get all after data. Like the,
Oh, just a function. Oh, I was missing a comma.
fun syntax stuff.
Yeah.
Let me know if that works.
We got that.
Well, first I have that.
In Nautilus, we're better.
Yeah.
Great.
Really?
How you doing?
I think, like, it's just weird, like, this is what I do.
So back to your,
Yeah, there's nothing. That's what I say.
you are res.sending all data, which is good.
Oh, she should, I renamed, I changed the camel text.
This is all
There.
Aha!
I just, yeah, spelling.
I hate syntax stuff.
Are you getting it? Like, did you get it?
Is there?
Oh, man, so,
I can be a dude, I've been given like, I'm very like, so it's all good.
Still working.
Stays there.
Just
Yeah.
That happens, that does happen.
Oh, it does
That
Alright.
happens. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually know what's happening, what's going on.
Alright, Josh.
Oh, no, I'm good. I just
Are you
didn't
like
this
doing it?
there.
Yes. Yes.
Are you
Great.
like,
I don't know.
get this, or are you like, struggling with it?
Getting it.
Um,
Get it.
How
you doing, Jake?
read, like, how I read?
I think it's weird undefined Say it's not.
What's going on? Get a database under up to
I can't say that was like.
Do you know how to migrate that Heroku?
That none of that was hard.
Yes.
It's just hard with the queries and getting.
What are you sending to your?
To get
So that, so that, so we have.
Yeah, I just did it all in
We've
JS.
connected our.
Now, I don't know why you need routes and you do router. I was doing router. You know, it's like router.py. I was doing that. They don't appear to do anything different.
Different than that,
Do
no.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do actually.
So you just go, whatever it is, that's what they want us to do.
Yeah.
I
Because for
will,
me, I'm
I
like,
started using why. I wanna know why we
Are you- You're sending the good stuff though, right?
Right.
Can you go to your.
Like, but, like,
This is
how many
tofu.
ingredients are fucking missing? Like, don't just send me out to make a good meal. And wait, you wanna eat a good ass meal, but you didn't give me no money to buy no food.
Awesome.
Oh, all right, guys, moving on. Okay, so we got one join. Let's get the other join in there. All right, we're gonna do another inner join. Camel case.
another inner join.
Another. Oh, because join is just like shorthand for inner join. Here, no big deal.
Oh,
Really?
that's enjoy.
You don't like
Thank you,
those?
thank you.
I was like, for real?
Wait, really? They're totally
That's the
interchangeable?
shit you wanted to-
Yes, those two are. Join like automatically defaults to inner join.
Unless you specify otherwise.
I don't know how to do that,
You just have-
but I'm just lazy as fuck and I just put the join. No, I'm not lazy. But.
We'll do.
But-
We'll do it your way.
So
We'll see.
now we're gonna state the next table we're gonna join in on, which is people. So we're gonna say people. We're gonna inner join on people.
This is one big ass join.
It sure the fuck is. Yes. Yes, it is. From here, right, we got people, comma, where previous table, which is people movies, people underscore movies, dot people ID, people underscore ID. Is that how it's referenced? Yes. Yep. Inner seeds, where people underscore movies equal or dot people under ID, comma is equal to people.id. Okay, we're still sending this data, right? So let's go check it out. Let's make sure that this is what we're getting.
Hey, what happened? What the fuck happened?
Awesome.
Oh, I got myself a nice pretty here. Go back to queries. It's probably just the syntax. I just
I
typed
know
it.
what you mean. People.
You still getting that error, Josh?
No, just had 4 parentheses when
Where's the, sorry, called
Getting that idea.
Gotta get that ID.
This is sick, because I like this because it's just kind of like, oh, here's a buffet of the things you're going to select from for your handlebar, and I'll just go there.
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if we were to just like go back here and like res render this, right? We'll have like we will have a lot of data. This is what we're gonna. Oh, sorry. What's this? Can't be set after this. Ah, that means I have the res send here still, and this needs to go up.
Go back to that. Oh, because you still have res.send, right?
Yeah.
Just comment out res.send.
And then move res render up. So guys, what I just did was I commented out res.send, and then I highlighted this stuff and just moved it up.
Above the red dot sent.
Yeah, at least inside of this dot then,
Function, as long as it's within
the last dot then statement.
yes, sir.
Last dot then promise. Okay. So this is great, right? I mean, for the sake of like knowledge, right? As you can see, we're still getting the data sent back from the last one, from the data that we had sent up here. So you know how yesterday, Michelle, she did like a const data equal data thing, right? The reason she did that, I believe, is because she had another .then function and kept the same name data. So she made like a const for the last data so that she could reference that for the future data so it didn't cross-contaminate. That's total bad analogy, but whatever, yeah. All right, guys. To bring all data to the front page, we just put it right underneath all data, right? All data, right? And then now we can now we can use all data on our page. So if we go back to to our handlebars, let me turn this. We can do here if we do like all data. This is kind of so for all data, just change the each statement to all data, right? Save that. If you load it here, we're going to get all these duplicates. Lord of the Rings, director Elijah Wood, which isn't accurate, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. That's just putting like the name of the person, not really the role, because I put director here. But as you can see, we have all these different instances of the different shits, the different things, the different iterations in our database, right? This is great stuff. This is great. But we want to take that information and we want to combine the last two queries that we made, the two functions, back in our queries.js. So this first one, we're getting the directors. We're getting the director's name and we're getting their ID. In this next one, we're getting all the actors, right? We're getting all their names and all the, the movies that they're designated to, right? We want to combine those, right? This is like where we get to the main point of this, this breakout specifically. In order to do this, it's kind of like how we did word cloud. So I'll be walking through how to take this data, manipulate it into a way that we can present it to the front end where we don't have duplicates, where we can see the director and the actors underneath it. Okay? Is everybody caught up to this point? Good, good, good. Here we go. All right. First thing we are going to do is we're going to create a function. And we'll say join data, I guess. We'll call it join data. We are going to pass into it the data from the last two queries that we made. So the first one I'll put like D data for director data, and then actor data. So D data, actor data, blah, blah, blah. Over yonder, we're going to do another query inside of a query, like Inception. Man, this is getting crazy. Here we go. We'll write a query. Queries.join data. Okay? And then we're going to pass into it. I'm going to change the name of the first function from get movies to be D data. That way, it's consistent with what I'm passing in here, and I won't get confused later on. And then I'm going to call the next function, instead of all data, just a data, like that.
So what are these changes you're making?
So I'm just
All data is now a data.
all data is now a data, and the data from before, that from get movies, is
D camel case data. Got it.
yes. Also, so we don't like come into any hiccups later on, let's delete this little bit here. That's sending the data, that's rendering the data to the page on our handlebars.
Sweet.
Just like that. That way we don't get any mishaps. Inside of this query, we're going to do D data and A data. Okay? It's also important to export join data. Otherwise, we can't utilize that function. So we got join data. Okay? We're going to, after that, we're going to do another .then. And we'll just name this one data, because it's not conflicting with any of the other names that we used prior, and we can utilize it. I'm going to move the res.render index up above. Okay. I'm also going to comment it out. I'm going to do a res.send data. That way I can see the data that's being sent from that function.
Oh, you did another document.
I did.
So after
There
a
you go.
data, we got another.
So this is a new document.
Did you
Oh.
change anything in your,
Let me delete this.
in your queries?
Did I change anything in my queries? This is all I added in my queries, was this,
That's why it's
and then I added join data to exports.
I tried refreshing, so I'm an idiot.
No, don't worry, it will not work. It will not work where we're at right now. Okay?
Join data.
Let me know when you guys are all ready to move on.
You deleted something somewhere around 10 or 9. What was that?
Oh, I had a res.send there. I deleted that. It was commented out. This is what I did.
Okay, so I only have one res.send. Okay, I see what's going on.
This is what I deleted.
Oh, okay, never mind. So that helps. You get it, Shayla data.
What's that?
Here we go.
Shayla data.
Oh, yeah.
So, how I did this before was the first thing I did was I created an empty array. Okay? So we'll let, what is it? Well, I guess we'll just do like movie array is equal to like an empty array. Okay? What I also did was I created a new object. This is the object that we're going to be sending back to the front page. Or, no, so sorry. We're going to be sending back movie R to the front page. Inside movie R, we're going to have a new object with all of the information from the previous functions. Like manipulated to what we want it to be. And I'll show you how to do that.
So you're just rearranging it with this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's totally what I'm doing. Data manipulation at this point.
Sweet.
So, we will, do you have to do like yeah, I think it's like let, movie object, we'll do movie object equal new object function. Okay? So what we want to do at this point is we want to cycle through the data that we got back and pull the right data that we want. To cycle through, we're going to do a for loop. Okay? For var I equals 0 while I is less than, I guess we'll do ddata, right? We'll do ddata dot length. And then I plus plus. And we're going to run this function. I want to actually console log ddata and make sure that what we're getting back is correct. So I don't know if this is going to actually do anything though. We will see. Let's check it out. Here's the console over here. If I refresh the page, so we are getting, yeah, cannot read, whatever. But look, we are console logging all the different type of movies that we have, right? With the director, and we're console logging it as many times as its length, which is I think what, 3? How long is that shit? 1, 2, 3. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Haha. So it's going to run through this loop 3 times. Okay. Great stuff. If we go back, you know what? I think I want to do this a little differently. What I want is I want to get the movie ID to name each iteration that ID so that we can't get any duplicates later. I know that movie ID is in actor data. So I'm going to do actor data instead of director data. And I'll just console log that too, just to make sure that that's what we're getting back, right? Refresh, we'll get like an error down here, but we should get, no, here we go. Whoa, yes. It's a lot. This one. So great. Movie ID is right there. That's what we want. I want to be able to specify like this is the movie. If this movie ID already exists in the array, then do not add another movie of it, right? So that's the purpose of doing actor data first, all right? So back here, we're going to state, we create a variable let, we'll call it movie ID, right? And we're going to set it equal to a data dot, or it is like an object, so I guess you could do it this way, movie underscore ID. That's not an underscore, ID. Okay. Now let's const that. Console log. It's all about the console log, guys. Movie ID. You're getting undefined? Undefined. Okay. So maybe it's just the way that we're referencing this. If we do, let's look back at the data that we had consoled before. So we're getting back an array, right? So maybe we have to specify 0 first, right? So we're going to say like I, right? So for the length of I, let movie ID equal a data of that iteration's movie ID. You guys following that? Cool. Let's see if that works. That should have done it. Yeah.
Can you go back to it?
No. Jeez. Okay, so we're getting 1, 2, and 3. Great.
Just showing 1, 1, 2, right?
Yes. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Yep.
Well, mine only stopped at 2, 1, 1, 2.
Really?
Oh, I think it's because I still have that dot then that's undefined from earlier. What do we do with that?
I don't know. I'm still getting that too. This is what you should be getting. The 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
No, mine did 1, 1, 2, 2. Go back to your API.js if you don't mind.
API.js.
It's over on the right side. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Good?
Is there a
Res.send
specific reason why you decided to put the movie ID quotes in brackets instead of?
It's just preference. I mean, like, I prefer actually to do .movie underscore ID, but for the sake of like being like, oh, well, we are working with an object, we'll do this instead. Yeah, totally. But I mean, it's all up to your preference, you know. Did you get it to come back?
Something's on 13, res, my res.send data. So I got 1, 1, 2, and then it stopped. Something's probably wrong with my loop, right?
Probably.
Is anything wrong with it?
For I equals 0, I is less than a data.
Oh, here.
A data. Yep. That's just done it because a data is only like 3 long, right?
Yeah, so how do I would have to reload it, and then it's in a console log all
I
that
think
shit,
I'm really
right?
like
Yes.
so
So
just
just there you go.
1, 1, 2, 3, 3, so it's a data.
Just to be clear, you're using a data because it has the movie ID in it.
Correct. I want to, yes, because I want to reference the objects that I create with that ID. So that way it's easier later on to be like, if this already exists, do not fucking do shit with it. So that's great. We got that going. Okay. We're going to do another for loop in here.
Is your localhost working at the moment? No, it's not. No.
Nope. Don't like me.
But
Nobody
you got
says,
the,
alright.
Mike got that too, where the numbers come out of the console.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mike will made it have stuff.
I'm not too sure. Yeah, you got it right there.
Oh, I got it
It's
too.
just good.
So we're doing another for loop. We're going to go through director data now. Okay. Because we want to pull data from both. Yeah.
So you're just going to do it nested?
Yes. Nested?
You're going to do it in J?
Yep. ddata.length. Okay. Now in here, this is where we're going to be using movie ID. Okay. We're actually going to create another object. This is the, yes, what's up?
Sorry, does it matter with, so at the very beginning of this function, you pass in B data and then A data, does it matter the order of those two?
I only did A data first because it had the movie ID in it. D data does not have the movie ID. So that's the reason why I did A data
But
first.
the fact that you plugged in D data, comma, A data right after join data, it doesn't matter?
Say that one more time?
Like, like on line 11,
Yes.
you did D data first and then
Oh.
A data.
Yeah, no. That doesn't matter as long as it's synonymous with this over here. As long as they're the same. The way that you, yes, and then the way that you reference your data within that function, that's what matters, right? So within this, we're going to create a new object, okay? And we're going to call it, it's going to be within movie object, right? And we're going to pass it, right, movie ID from before, this little bit here. So then now what we're saying is we have an object, and inside the first key is going to be the ID of that movie, okay? So movie object, movie ID equals new object function, okay? And then underneath here, we're gonna say, we're gonna reference this a little bit. We're gonna say dot, what is it, like title? Title equals, I believe that's in A data as well, right? Where did we console log that? Yeah, that's good. So A data I dot title. Okay. Then we got, let's say that again, we're just building the object at this point. Movie object, movie ID, dot, what do we want? Director. We want the director to equal from our D data, oh, I forgot something, I think, J. Okay. Guys, I'm so sorry. I did forget something. Before we make an object, I want to create an if statement that says if A data's title is equal to D data's title, then we're going to take their information. That's important because otherwise we're just pulling data from all sorts of places, and they could be like V for Vendetta's director, but it's actually Lord of the Rings.
Say it one more time.
Yes. Before we create the object, I want to tell the system that if D data's title is equal to A data's title, then I want to make an object with their information,
Gotcha.
right?
So you're joining the two together within that.
Yes. So we're going to write an if statement. If A data I dot title is strictly equal to D data, which is J, right? J. And then we're going to run this darn function. I'm going to put this right in there. And that's where we get that. So now we're making sure that the iteration in actor data is the same as, oh, sorry, forgot title. Dot title. Ha 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 ha. Okay. We also want to, after this, I'm just going to continue building this object. I'm going to do this, and we're going to do actors. Now, because we have a many-to-many relationship for actors, I don't want to put the actor data in this yet. I want to make an empty array. And then after it runs through this, we'll be pushing the actor data into that object where we will have to also put in the movie ID. Well, I guess that's not true. No. Well, if we fuck up, I got like a spare on the side, so I can always look at that. Okay. Let's return. We're going to go outside this for loop. I want to make sure that we're getting stuff back, right? I definitely want to make sure that we're getting stuff back, which we're not. We want to movie r at the end of the object that we're making. We're going to movie r.push into that array the movie object. And we're not going to do with the colon ID because we want the whole thing and not just that ID. So at least that's how I've made it work. Okay. At the end, we're going to return that. Return movie r. Okay. Now, we are now returning data to the front end. We're referencing that as data from our join data function that we created, and we're res sending that. So I'm super excited to see this break. Did I save? Okay. Queries join data dot then is not a function. Yes. Well, you're not a function. Did I? I am exporting it. It is here. I did have to do this though, and it took me a little bit, but I remember seeing Brooks during like the cupcake thing. He created a constant for the function and then console logged that function. So I basically did the same thing here. We can do a let, I guess, let movie data equal that. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of the dot then statement, which if you do that, you also have to get rid of those brackets. And then we're going to res.send movie data. I'm so sorry, guys. Haha! Victory!
Can you go back to API?
To be honest with you, I do not know why it doesn't do that. Or I don't know why it says join data is not a function. But it works if you call it as a variable. I don't understand why. But I don't argue with JavaScript. I just work with it. That's it. That's it.
What are you supposed to get back out of it, man?
You're supposed to get back this.
Fuck.
You're going to get back an array of 6 items, and each one has 3 items in it. And they're all the same. Sure did, girl. Yes, Landon.
Did you erase the dot then?
I did erase the dot then.
Oh, okay.
I did. So if you're calling, when you call this query as a constant, it's kind of a hoe and won't let you do the dot then, because it's like dot then is not a function. You know, join data is not a function. Blah, you can't do
So
it.
that's why, because of that dot then, that's why it was recognizing join data as like a function.
I don't know why. It says right here that queries.join data, these arguments dot then is not a function.
Yeah, I've had that coming through.
I don't know why it does that, but I've found that if you label it as a constant and then console log or send that constant to the front, it will work. So haha, one up.
So now we just need to plug it into HBS and we have everything.
Absolutely. The interesting part to note is that over here it is like an array of the same objects over and over and over. So to get around that, really simple, when you return, you just do the first iteration.
I didn't get shit out of those.
No, you didn't get all these? If you res.send it to the front,
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like,
this is what you should have for your route.
Something,
Queries is over here.
one, two, three. Oh, I didn't return. We didn't return it. I just wrote it in there.
like, you guys is 0 at one time.
Yes. What's up? No, it's not. That's what I was saying. That's what I said at the beginning. I was like, I can do it. It's just like mad weird. And then I had people look at it and they were like, shoot, it works, you know? I was like, all right, cool.
Like, the way that you do it, though, it just makes more sense to me because, like, how she does it, like, is like it's constant logging and everything. It's
Yes.
just, like, constant logging works for certain parts for me, but like the way you're actually just sending it, it just like.
It's better for me as well. I get like a good visual for that. Does everybody get this? If you refresh, you should have one object with all of these instances inside.
I'm getting an error running for this real quick.
Yes.
My shit's not lined up, but it's telling me there's an unexpected this here on 20 in my if statement. Am I missing? Am I typing? Am I missing?
Oh, you don't have a parenthesis at the end of title.
It could be user error, it could be something
Looks like
wrong
I'm
with the person that made it.
Like this, and you should get a bunch of objects up here.
Yeah. It looks like something else might be wrong.
Not defined.
Movie data. It should be movie capital T.
Oh yeah, but where is that?
Looks like JavaScript API Node.js.
So.
I'm
Oh, this one.
Yep.
just looking over everything to see why it don't work.
No, there we go.
Awesome.
But I thought, what about the?
So you are returning an array with the same object in inside of each one. So to fix that, when you return movie R, you just give back the 0. That's where this comes in.
Oh, so I just need to add that in and it'll be good?
Yep.
So on queries.
How are you guys doing?
That's what it
Mine's
is.
broken.
What did you do, Clark?
I broke
Oh.
it on purpose.
Go back to your API.
Good. Yeah,
That's one. Okay. Oh, remove the dot then.
At object
This-
join
Mhm.
Oh, I'm missing that part.
queries,
Yeah, and
number
there's
38.
Yeah, you're just gonna res.send, right. Yeah, the movie data. Yep, and now it should work. Check it out.
Is this the workflow shit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
How do you get,
What was that thing that
make it pretty?
yeah.
That's a Google Chrome extension. I can totally send that to you later. Go back to your,
Did you have to do anything weird to install it?
nope, just download.
Okay.
When you return movie R, you want to make sure that it's the first iteration of that array. Otherwise, you're going to get a whole bunch of the repeat data back.
What I'm scared about is
Cool. How about you guys? You guys getting it together?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Working?
Yeah.
Awesome. Working? Awesome.
Trying to get ready.
I don't think it's something that they're going to teach us.
You know. That it would be me.
It might work. I'm trying to.
Check it out.
It's something.
Now I'm wondering, is this
This is work.
but I mean, who proposes this?
Check out your node. I think it's
The stuff that you're struggling with
Windows.
they can't actually do on Mongo.
Every property title is defined.
Just keep on.
So something's wrong with how you wrote title over here. Where is that at? JS21.
Why? Because it's a non-relational database.
Data I.
That's
That title is equal to D title, D data, J. That title.
relational databases, why the fuck do you need non-relational databases?
Oh.
And no one actually has a good answer.
Right.
That's that conversation. Cause yeah, like, so all of the join stuff, all of the like, on our ERDs, all of the lines that are connected to different tables, you can't do that. So it's a non-relational database. So the structure might be different, but the hard parts won't even be there. Nice.
It's
The parts that are
it's number 38, right? So if we go up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 1
31, 33 plan, 43. So it's the D data breakout. D data J. That title.
What?
Just finished up the cloud part.
What?
But you guys, I was just saying it's a title issue. Like, it's a part of the it's saying is like,
And the reason property title is fine.
And it doesn't have to be
Queries JS 28, which is just one word subject.
other, right?
You sure did.
Say what? Is this the movie project?
Oh, right here. See how you put I here? You want to put J here.
Ah, there you go.
Fuck my life.
it's the little shit, man. It's when you.
It's always a little shit.
That's it.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yay! So you can see
James,
here,
goodbye.
you can see here you're getting all these iterations of the same thing, right? Which is why here, which is why at return movie art, you're going to send back just that first iteration.
So I want the bracket to 0.
Yep.
Oh, the only reason ours is cleaner is because we all have that HTML. That's all.
Doing good?
The Chrome
Okay,
is-
home extension.
Yeah.
So you don't have it, how does it look on your stuff?
It's just harder.
Oh, you don't have the,
It's so trash. It's like,
Really?
No.
did it trust in you?
He like shortcutted the shit.
We're gonna be rendering,
Movie.
oh, you're right, movie data, yeah. You're right,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's it.
No,
You got it.
It's the codest thing, because like the 0, the array part right here, like
No worries.
consideration of it,
Pull it
it's
up.
just like, oh,
Looks
because I
good.
think with Michelle's,
Looks good.
because Michelle's is like, oh, we're adding additional ones, same name, or you have that.
Yes. So, which is great, that's what you want. And so you're setting back.
Yeah, I got it when I saw Ken, when we did the breakout with Ken, she had that.
Oh, that's because it's not listed as David. It's listed as a
JSON
Let's, hold on. I'm glad everybody's caught up. Sounds like it. I'm gonna continue on.
All right. So what we got going on next is we have all this going up to the main little bit, right? 2, 3. That's great. Okay. As you can see in here, we have an empty array of actors, right? I want to push any actor that has that ID, or I want to push any actor that is associated with the same movie ID into that movie shit, into the actor array. To do that, after this for loop ends, we're going to start a new for loop, and it's going to be almost the same kind of structure as before. It'll be another for loop inside of a for loop. So let's set that up really quick. We got D data, right? What's the first one? A data. So we're getting the actor data. And then inside of that, we'll do another one, but we're gonna do J. And we're doing a D data. Okay. So we're going to write an if statement, right? We want to say basically the same thing right here. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Oh man, my mind is like total mush right now. I'm so sorry. I wonder how. So we got a for loop inside of a for loop with an if statement that says if a data I don't think that's what we want though. That doesn't feel right. Guys, I'm gonna cheat. So sorry.
I apologize to us.
Query. Shut up, guys. Okay, so we have a for loop, movie data. We're calling that thing. We're doing another. We're doing movie array. It's not A data. What is M data? M data is get movie. Get movie. So yeah, this one is actually the second one, the A data. Which we got here, which is good, but we want to say for the length of the array that we have already initiated, the one that we pushed everything to in this little bit here, right?
So movie array, that one.
Yes. Yep. MovieR.length. We're gonna run this bit of code. we're going to say that if actor data I dot movie ID, because that's the one that has movie ID, is equal to, right, we're going to do movie R J dot, what is that? Oh, right. We have to, above our for loop, guys, I'm so sorry. But we're basically following this little setup before. Just going to copy this little movie ID, because that's what we're going to be referencing in our movie R, right? Because that's what each object is named. Is their movie ID. We're going to reference that. And then we're saying, I know. We're going to say, if this is equal to, what is it? Dot movie ID. We're going to run this code. I want to make sure that this is working. So I'm going to console log poop. Now it should be popping up over here if that is the case. Let's check it out. It doesn't do it.
You have movie underscore ID. Where is that being declared?
Movie underscore ID is inside of a data. So if I console log,
Oh, right. It's just it's a column in the table.
yes, yeah,
Gotcha.
in that join table. Yep.
Alright, I was thinking it's a variable for something. Okay.
Cheating again. Don't look. Nobody look. Interesting. Okay. So I did dot title here. AData.title is equal to this movie ID dot title.
Can you kind of just explain what that is? Exactly right there, just read it out loud.
So yeah, I'll start from this for loop. So for the length, so for var I equals 0, while I is less than a data dot length, right? We're gonna run this code, okay? Within a data for each iteration, we're gonna call the a data I dot movie ID, or this part of that iteration, and we're gonna reference that as movie ID. Then with that information, we're going to loop through the movie array that we had created before, that we pushed stuff to, and we're going to run the following function. And inside, we're going to say if a data, that iteration of a data dot title is equal to the title inside of the movie array iteration, movie ID title. If that is equal to each other, we're going to insert information into it. We're going to run the following code. I want to make sure that this is working. I'm going to refresh. And look, we get a lot of poop. Yes! That's great, guys. Love poop. Love getting that.
So, how do you, because you're saying return the array, but where, I guess I'm confused.
Yes.
Is looking at the code, where is the instance or the suggestion to insert information? It's not being called insert, where
Well,
is the code kind of getting, where are we saying, okay, if it's not there, put it in, or let it be there?
so we haven't wrote that bit of code yet. But the idea is that this empty array here is what we want to push information to, specifically the actors for that movie.
If it's not there.
Correct. We're going to write a statement that's like,
Okay.
if this actor isn't present in the array, we're going to add him to that array.
So I don't know if this is jumping ahead. It might be. So we're doing this for actors. We would go back and do this again for directors and movies. We keep doing this.
No. As you can see up here in our movie object, right? Back here, we have the title. We have, wow, what is going on there? Interesting. Might just have to just do this just to make it a little easier. And then we have actors here.
So we'll
It's weird
push
that that's
the
happening.
actors to it.
We're going to push actors into this array of our object that we created.
How is the director
Oh, I totally get you.
Okay, on.
Oh, sorry. No, mine was taking a bit. Okay, there we go. Guys, I missed a part right here. For the object, put .name in there. Otherwise, it's going to send back a whole bunch of crap. As you saw from the
No,
director.
back to it. Director, data, J, okay, got me.
Title, director. So on the other side, it's data J dot name.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that again?
Because before I was just sending it data J, and if you refresh this page, you can see the director is another object, and it's sending in the information from D data, that iteration of DJ. But we don't want that iteration. We want just this. We want just this part of this information that we passed in. So we just add .name, and then it changes it to, oh, you little hoe, this one. Hallelujah. So we'll go back down here into our for loop. We're saying that if a data I.title is equal to this instance of our movie or movie array with this name or with that ID dot title, that's equal, then we want to take our we want to write, are we going to do another if statement? We definitely want to push from a data. We want to push into this bit right here. So if you copy this, this is the array, the location of the array that we want to push into, right? We're going to push I don't think this is going to a data J dot, I think it's just name. Yeah, it's just name. I'm gonna run this really fast.
Why are we doing J on A data? No kidding.
We got actors, but they're not the right ones.
Well, you see where you have A data and then you have J?
Mhm.
Why do we have push A data at J dot name when we have associated with the index of J for moving?
Oh, you're absolutely right, girl. You caught me. You caught me right there. So happy.
So it's just
Yay! Now we're just getting the actors that are supposed to be there.
So it's just I instead of J.
Correct. So sorry.
I
Shayla.
don't know shit else.
Yes, that was awesome. I'm saying, I'm like, why are we getting all these names? Now it makes sense. So, if you followed this correctly, you would have gotten a list of the actors that are inside of each one. So we have Zach Braff, Natalie Portman, and Hugo Weaving, blah, blah, blah. Great shit. But we're getting all these iterations of that, right? So, how do we do that? We use, because it's an array, we can use this array index of, right, if it's equal to -1, we're going to post into it. I'll show you how to write that. So inside of here, we are pushing in, right? We're going to do another if statement, though. We need to, otherwise it'll be like, otherwise it's going to keep sending duplicates. So we're going to say this array, movie ID.actors.index of, and then we're going to send in this, a data I of name. And we're going to say if that is equal to -1, then we're going to send that information into the array. I'll back up. So this is where we were at, right? First I created an if statement. If the array I'm referencing, .index of, right, of this name. So it's going to look for this instance or that element within that array, right? And index of will give you back the index of that element or the index of that whatever you're trying to call. And if it doesn't exist, it will send back a -1. So we want it to be -1. If this actor doesn't exist in the array, put it the fuck in there. There we go. And then don't forget your squiggly brackets, right? And then all I did was just move the line down, up 1.
Wait, oh shit. Not.
And it should render how?
This is how it should look.
Okay, yeah, because the actors are correct. Cool.
I'm gonna just need a little time right here.
Take a minute. Take a lot of minutes.
We do like 9 or 10 more for loops.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm so glad you brought that up. We'll be writing some more right now.
No, inside of J. So let's do some K and some L action.
We're gonna go all the way to Z,
Yeah.
and then Q. I mean 001A.
Can you check this?
Yeah. What's going on?
Sync. This is what you got, right?
So,
A data.
I.title is equal to movie RJ
What?
movie ID.title. We're gonna run the code. If object ID dot actors.
think so.
Don't do the push yet. You want to do index of there.
I don't even know how I'm knowing what I'm knowing.
Well, I'm glad I know there's no something.
There you go.
No something.
Like, I can't even tell you what happened.
It's better than nothing.
I just a fluke.
So if that index of equals -1, we're going to run the following code.
So we just, right?
No, we needed that.
Right?
Because you're looking
Index of
you're looking for
A
the
data I.
inside the array, right?
Oh, so if basically this doesn't exist,
Right. Exactly.
then we're gonna
push that data in. Oh, and close that the parentheses.
J equals. Yep.
And then you should be getting what I was getting on your res.send.
Here?
Elijah Wood, Orlando Bloom. Zach Braff, Natalie Portman. Great. Nice.
Sweet.
What you got?
If movie, oh, I mean this, because it's not, this is the, I basically have got 3 if statements. No,
You're close. You don't need the last if statement.
this right here.
The 1 in 37, yeah. Just erase the if right in the beginning, and then you should be good. That looks good to me.
I understand. Let's see what.
Unexpected token. Oh, just delete one of the squigglies below. Yeah, that's good. I hate that one.
You do.
Yeah, it looked
Give someone, I give you the side eye.
unexpected token. Oh, girl. I'm so sorry. Maybe you did need that. You need a. Where was that? Sorry. No, I'm so
I
sorry.
have 2. I have, because I never got.
Right here, where you're saying if movie object actors index of, you need a curly bracket, or not, you need a parenthesis there before this curly bracket.
At the end of the I.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Hey, what happened over there?
Yep, there you go.
Hey, Andy, what happened? What happened over there?
Nice. You should be getting it now.
Let me see.
What did we miss?
Oh, yeah, girl.
She, like,
Whoa!
she basically, like, went
Got
over
it?
somewhere,
You got it?
like,
Nice.
like, dot,
You got it,
dot,
Jake?
then, dot, then,
Josh.
stories,
Oh.
This is
which I
great.
wasn't really following, and then Cole got up there and he
Looking
was
good.
trying to get.
Well, to be able to put something, you have to have somebody explain it to you.
So Ross kind of worked on his thing for a while, and then I heard that there was a lot going on, I came back in here, and the word clouds and all that shit had happened, and I was
Getting
like,
information.
Yeah, no, this was rough. Like I'm like furious to try to stay.
all in it.
Like even just like a template like this.
It was tough.
I'm by no means a master.
Dakota, is this right? Just like what am I going about?
Yeah.
Man, you stay with it. Is this what you wanted?
Yep.
Sweet.
Awesome. Let's send this stuff to the front page, okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
No, I want some Z loops. Come on.
Next time.
There's no such thing as loops. I'm only Linda to do this. 2 Z's in the loop. We only got the J. Come on.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. Back in our API.js, our route, I'm gonna uncomment out res.render, And I'm going to comment out res.send, otherwise you get set different headers, and you can't set headers after they are sent. So now we're getting this. What we want to do now is we want to render to the page the constant or the variable that we made before. It's not a constant, it's a variable. We're going to call it movie data, just like that. If we go back to index, if we go back here, we should see, oh, we got movies. Well, that's nice. That's not what I wanted. What's going on in the index HBS? We're calling all data here. So this needs to be movie data. For each movie data, we're going to display the title, the director, which is not name anymore, it's director, because that's what we had in our queries, right? If I bring this over here, you can see that we had labeled director data, that instance, that name, we reference it as director, okay? So back over here, or back in our handlebars, right, we're going to say director.
Well, what was that like response header? You said you can't set headers after they're sent.
Yes, that's if you have two responses in the same like get request.
So I just need to remove one?
You can only have one.
I have a res.send, so just get rid of that res.send. It should just be res.render, right?
Yep. And if you render the page, you get the directors. And then, if underneath the H5, we can do another H5, and then we'll just put actors, right? Because that's what we labeled over here in our array. Actors, colon, actors, and then back here, you get them right here.
Can I see me some handlebars?
You can see you some mini handlebars.
Sweet. All right.
I can't even believe it.
Can I see your browser for a sec?
Something interesting to note here is that
Yeah.
there's no space after this.
Yeah. How do you do
You can fix that. I'll show you right now. I was going to do it before, but I figured I should bring you through it before I go back. So basically, when you push that data into the actor array, right here, you're just going to, what's up?
No, talk.
You're going to just put some quotes in,
Okay.
plus, but if you do that, then you have to go back up here to index of and also change that. Otherwise, it'll keep posting all of them in.
You just create a space.
Yep,
Index.
I just did quotes with a space plus the data.
You're pretty much concatenating, you're creating that space.
Right. Yeah, so that way when I load it, there will be a space in between here.
There was two places you did that. Index of and where else?
Index of and where I push.
Oh, okay. So,
In the queries, right?
Yep, in queries.
What is it?
What's up?
I only have
Lightning talks in 4 minutes.
director.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jarrell.
What did I do wrong? Let me say real quick. Isn't this what
Oh.
you're showing?
Go to your handlebars. How are you referencing that data?
I changed it to movie data. Okay.
And it's actors. It should be actors. Where you do your handlebars.
That's probably why. Boom.
Ah!
Thank you.
Boom!
All right, you're hired.
It's creating the comma because it's an array.
Correct.
Resident Dakota.
And
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
so how do you,
Maybe.
when you're styling, are you calling that in your handlebars?
What?
If
The
you
comma?
want- If you wanted to style it, so say you wanted to make your page pretty, right?
Okay.
What do you do that?
So if you wanted to make your page pretty, okay, what you would do is you could say just up here, like you could create like a div and then call it a class or give it an ID of poop. I love poop, guys. So, shit.
And so that's your div of posts, right?
Yes, whatever's in here, if I like whatever I tell it poop, or whatever I reference as poop inside my CSS, it will adjust. It will make it pretty.
I think if you put the poop div inside of your each loop, though, it'll also create those divs.
So you could
Yes.
create a style sheet to link.
Yes.
So you would create a style sheet, like a CSS sheet?
Yeah, and you would just like, it'd be just like referencing it for any HTML. You would put the
Okay,
link
you
up
can
here.
link it there, right?
Right.
Well,
put
sort of, but it has to be in public.
correct.
And you have to import. You have to make app.js aware of that folder.
App.set, view engine, HBS. Oh, what's the public
We
one?
already did that one.
Is it
There's the
static?
public one. It is the static one. You're absolutely right.
That's the one?
But it would be just like that. And then you could do like with this ID, you could do like text align center,
Yeah.
you know, justify content, and you could even do a Jake set. And like you can put another div inside of here, right?
Just keep, my head's gonna pop off.
This is a lot easier to understand too once you actually like render it in the browser. And
Totally.
examine it in the browser because you can see what
You can see what's happening.
But if you want, I would just recommend like just playing around with CSS and seeing what you can style with this. But that's how you get information from the back end, manipulate it, and send it to the front end the way that you want it. At least that's the way that I know how to do it. There's probably a lot of other ways that you can, probably better ways.
I don't know any better ways, so your way is the best.
I don't know any other ways either. I'm excited to learn though.
Let me take your laptop, Jake, so you can,
I would appreciate it.
so you can probably